Chelsea progressed to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup after their penalty shootout win over Newcastle United at Stamford Bridge. It was not too long ago that Mauricio Pochettino suggested that he needed to make memories at Chelsea to forge his bond with the club. Tuesday evening might have offered a true opportunity to begin falling in love. The Blues boss could not help but raise his arms aloft and begin walking across the pitch before turning to hug a procession of the coaching staff and club captain Reece James, who had been seated behind those in the dugout along with the likes of Marcus Bettinelli, Romeo Lavia, Robert Sanchez, Wesley Fofana, Ben Chilwell, and Leslie Ugachukwu. That group, too, spent little time dashing to find their teammates and in particular George Petrovic, in spite of their ailments. An equalizer in stoppage time combined with a penalty shootout win will certainly live long in the memory. Particularly if Chelsea can take advantage of the opportunity they have earned to find success in the Carabao Cup. The Stamford Bridge clash in many ways could not have been more different than Chelsea's 4-1 defeat to Newcastle at St James' Park in November. There were concerning moments in the build-up to Callum Wilson's opening strike, and discipline threatened to cause issues once again with Levi Colwill and Moises Caicedo both may be fortunate to not see red. However, for the most part, Chelsea remained composed and pressed on in search of their goal. Opportunities were hard to come by, but the Blues pressed on and improved in the second period despite being a goal behind. In defeat to Newcastle, the latter 45 minutes saw the West London side capitulate. Pochettino's side have not entirely found their ruthless streak. Words were certainly had when Moises Caicedo knocked the ball out of play with Anthony Gordon lying on the turf. Chelsea had produced some sustained pressure with the Newcastle star out of action, and the referee was showing no sign of stopping play. The West London team was recycling the ball in a bid to find another avenue of attack when the Ecuador international placed the ball out of play. Caicedo received a chorus of boos from the crowd but also what appeared to be a dressing down from distance from some of his teammates, with Palmer in particular airing his frustration. Chelsea found a way, however, and prevented Pochettino from discussing another defeat he didn't feel his team deserved. The Blues delivered a series of outstanding penalties and Palmer delivered the first before putting his fingers to his lips in the direction of the away support. While the speculation will never die until there is an opportunity for Conor Gallagher to sign a new contract, Chelsea's captain on the night once again produced an impressive outing. Any consideration of selling the former Crystal Palace loanee is laughable, such is the importance of Gallagher, who is a firm contender for Chelsea's best player this season. Any consideration of profit must come at the cost of the price of any replacement, even with any prospective or possible shape change with the returning Christopher Nkunku. With Enzo Fernandez leaving the pitch through illness but rumors already firmly circulating of a more long-term issue, the idea of being without Gallagher, in addition, is unthinkable. Of course, the 24-year-old was not the only player to make an impact. Malo Gusto's introduction after 45 minutes injected pace and drive into Chelsea's attack from a deeper position. It was a move that certainly highlighted what Chelsea misses in their fullbacks when four central defenders are chosen across the back line. What was pertinent, however, despite his positive contribution to the position, is that Frenchman slotted into left-back following his introduction when Ian Maatsen was available to be selected. The Dutchman has made limited appearances since turning down a move to Burnley in the summer despite significant injury issues at Stamford Bridge. It won't be long until it becomes apparent whether Maatsen's view on his future has changed. Chelsea supporters were finally treated to their first competitive minutes of Christopher Nkunku against Newcastle United. He was not quite the buzzing threat of pre-season but showed some smart touches across his second-half cameo. The crowd was abuzz when he made his way to the technical area to receive his final instructions, and any time he was in the vicinity of the ball, the Matthew Harding stand was lifted. For Pochettino, it appears it is about tempering expectations for the moment. However, he said in his press conference, "Everyone can judge, yes, you are going to play, but the most important is in which form. Because the expectation is to see the best Nkunku, the problem is we need time for him to perform in the way we expect. One thing is to be available, another is performing the way we expect. Too much pressure on him, day by day we are pushing him to arrive as soon as possible to his best to try to help the team in the way we expect. Nkunku will be slowly phased into the side as the Blues boss not only allows Nkunku to get up to speed but figures out how the 26-year-old best fits in with this side. How that is managed over a busy festive period will be very intriguing. Mauricio Pochettino had another win to discuss at Stamford Bridge on Tuesday evening as Chelsea overcame Newcastle United in the Carabao Cup. It took a penalty shootout after Mykhailo Mudryk saved the game with a stoppage-time equalizer, but the Blues progressed to the semi-final of the competition. The night saw Chelsea have to come from behind after a first-half goal from Callum Wilson, as they also saw Enzo Fernandez leave the field before the first 45 minutes were up. The West London side pushed hard to find a way back into the game, and Stamford Bridge saw Christopher Nkunku's debut, which helped lift the atmosphere. Mudryk took advantage of a Kieran Trippier error to force penalties, and the Newcastle United defender then missed his spot kick. When George Petrovic saved from Matt Ritchie, it was all over and the home side could enter into jubilation. Let's have a look at what Pochettino said during the press conference. Pleased with the result. I am so pleased, and the players deserve some credit. After conceding the way we didn't deserve to concede. It can affect any team. We reacted really well and dominated the game against a very good team like Newcastle. Then we keep pushing in the second half and make some changes and, of course, try to provide the team with some impact. The most important in football is to believe until the end, and that is possible because we keep believing, and then always we know penalties are a lottery. Of course, talent and quality. Of course, so pleased because our objective before the game was to go through to the semi-final. We are in the semi-final, and now we need to move on and wait tomorrow and then be focused and be ready for the next Premier League game. How important is the win for you? I think these types of games are important, the way we can achieve the way to go through to the semi-final. Always it is so important. It is important when you don't play well, games like Everton and Newcastle away from home, to realize in which area we need to improve. Both are really important, and to really feel for this group, in the way we want to evolve and develop the ideas. So pleased because I think when you see the whole squad, players that weren't involved in the game, players that were injured but they wanted to share the happiness in the middle of the pitch. I think it looks like we are a healthy group of players that only need time, and our responsibility is to guide them to really improve every day. With time I think we are going to create a very good team that can compete and increase the competition and can be in the place that Chelsea should be. Do you practice penalties? Always we practice, but that is not why. Finishing, shooting, set pieces, how to defend set pieces, penalties of course, not every day but a few days a week players are doing things. To be honest, you can practice penalties every day, but it is about how you manage yourself, the stress, the competition, and the quality. If I am going to shoot every day and then go and start to shake and put the ball away, no. It's more about the quality than the practice in this type of subject. Big night for individuals like Christopher Nkunku. We are talking about players that are young, players that arrive and suffer an injury, disturb. Now they meet the team, then they meet the competition. They need time to start to perform to get the best form. That is sometimes, everyone can judge, yes, you are going to play, but the most important is in which form. Because the expectation is to see the best Nkunku, the problem is we need time for him to perform in the way we expect. One thing is to be available, another is performing the way we expect. Too much pressure on him, day by day we are pushing him to arrive as soon as possible to his best to try to help the team in the way we expect. Enzo Fernandez latest. He asked to go out because he was a little bit sick before the game. He suffered some problems with his stomach. He wanted to play, he said, okay, see if it's going well. Rather than well, it went not so well, and that is why Levi was more, because my perception was at the end of the first half is that he was a little bit tired. We wanted to put some more offensive players like Malo and provide more energy on the side. That was why. Also the option of Malo in the second half to continue to play with Levi Colwill, but he is going to be ready. It's nothing, it was only a bit tiring in my perception, to change the way we were playing. Did fans come onto the pitch? I didn't see it. Always I think we need to be careful and fans need to be careful. I don't like this type of thing because I think it is a thing that can put in danger the players. I am disappointed. I don't agree with this type of thing that happened in football here and in Stamford Bridge, and the same if it happened in another stadium. Disappointed with this type of thing because it's so dangerous and hope it doesn't happen again.